You were probably as shocked as we were when you heard that Brooks and Dunn had broken up way back in 2009. Unarguably the most successful country duo of that time, and probably now too, the duo seemed to everybody to be as close as brothers. So, when they announced their split on the 10th of August, 2009, it came as a huge shock to music lovers, especially country folks. To formally inform their fans, Kix Brooks and Ronnie Dunn released a statement stating that after 20 years of making music and writing this trail together, we have agreed as a duo that it's time to call it a day. This ride has been everything and more than we could ever have dreamed. However, considering that this statement does not really paint a picture of where their minds were at when they decided on the split, fans were left wondering what the problem was. It is even more fascinating when you consider the fact that both Brooks and Dunn have mentioned that throughout their 20 years together, they didn't fight much. So, what was the problem? Well, let's go back to the creation of the band. Unlike some other bands or duos that you may know, Brooks and Dunn weren't friends before they became a duo. In fact, they didn't know each other, they were complete strangers. At that time, they were both pursuing solo careers that were not particularly mainstream successful. But then one day, an executive of Arista Records, Tim Du Bois, approached both of them and pitched the idea of them becoming a duo. Brooks has mentioned in an interview that neither he nor Dunn was particularly excited about the idea. In fact, they initially refused, claiming that it was silly becoming a duo seeing as they didn't know each other from anywhere. But thankfully for fans of country music and even both of them, they agreed to become a duo. Looking at their backstory, it is easy to see how there were creative differences, and both Brooks and Dunn have admitted to that. However, they both insist that the general public has grossly exaggerated their disagreements. They had disagreements like any two people with different tastes in music that have been thrown in a band would, but nothing was particularly vicious. That said, it might interest you to know that the split that happened in 2009 almost happened a decade earlier. Apparently, when they were recording their album Tightrope in the late 1990s, they each recorded in different studios, and even with different producers. They argued too much about basically everything that concerned the production of that album, and the tension was just too thick for both of them to record in the same space. Predictably, that album is their least successful to date. With all of these going on, they planned to just walk away from everything, and they almost did if not for the head of their record label who brought them a song titled Ain't Nothing 'Bout You. Somehow, they managed to put their differences aside and record the song together. That song became the most successful of their career then, but its significance goes beyond that. It played a significant role in keeping the duo together for the time. Considering how they patched things up, the patch-up actually lasted longer than they probably expected. Ain't Nothing 'Bout You was released as the lead single of their 2001 album Steers and Stripes, and their breakup didn't happen until 2009. However, looking back, both Brooks and Dunn mentioned when they just broke up that they should have taken a break a long time ago to allow the dust settle around them instead of dragging the whole thing for as long as they did. And this is in the period between when Steers and Stripes was released, and when they eventually broke up, tensions continued to rise. Dunn was the one to pitch the idea of their breakup, and Brooks has mentioned that he was in total agreement. They have both said that the breakup was stressless and even friendly, and they were both at peace with the decision. After their breakup, both of them went on to pursue solo careers and actually achieved a significant level of success. Brooks released a solo album, New to This Town, while Dunn released two solo albums 3 years apart. The first was a self-titled album, while the second was titled Peace, Love, and Country Music. During their break, the duo remained friends and even went on a vacation with Reba McEntire and a couple of other country musicians about 6 months after the split. Even more, they continued to go duck hunting, so there were no hard feelings. However, in 2015, after about 6 years of being split, Brooks and Dunn reunited for a Las Vegas residency, together with Reba McEntire. The show was tagged Reba, Brooks and Dunn, together in Vegas, and it was so successful that it had to be extended through 2019. And then in 2019, they recorded an album, Reboot, which is basically a re-recording of their hit songs, but this time around in collaboration with some younger generation country singers. That year, they were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame as a duo. In January the next year, they announced plans for a tour of the new album tagged the Brooks and Dunn Reboot 2020 Tour. It didn't happen in 2020 for reasons we are all familiar with, and so has been rescheduled for 2021. When asked why they decided to come back together, they simply said that the time just seemed right. And who are we to argue? We are really just glad that they have found a way to work through their differences and be able to bless us with their music as a duo once again. And there you have it, the story of Brooks and Dunn's breakup and reunion. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you would love to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel. You should also consider checking out our website at Country Thang Daily. We'll see you in the next video or on the website, or both.